Well, it's like I say on basically every broadcast that I have, whether it's subtle or not, that this is an incredible moment in history to be alive in this beautiful world, and it's a miracle that we're even here at all, really, in the scope of things.
Isn't that the truth?
It really is. So what's next
we
on...
We look around, right, for these things we don't explain and say, oh, what could that be? Well, what is life itself? It's so miraculous. Just the things we take for granted are all miracles. You know, we live in a miraculous world. Let's stop killing each other and making war and destroying it, you know?
I know, honestly.
And send people to cropcirclemovie.com. That's, oh, God, that's kind of crass, isn't it?
No, of course not.
As the alternative, but you know, that's where you can get this wonderful movie of mine. So that's what I'm my soapbox about.
That's right on. That was a good segue for me. I was going to ask what was next on the horizon for the beautiful Suzanne with the gorgeous mind. Suzanne Taylor, what's new and on the horizon for you, and where can everybody get a hold of all of this content? Because I know there's a few different internet sources.
Well, the one thing I would say is get on my mailing list, and then you'll get, juicy things. You won't be inundated. I don't send out a lot, but what I send out is really juicy. Good. And it's mostly my entries on my blog. If you were in L.A., you'd get invited to my house. We're having an event here tonight. I invited all the L.A. People who've seen the film in L.A. who are on my mailing list. But you get on my mailing list at my blog, which is theconversation.org. You can buy the movie from there also. Okay. You can get to cropcirclemovie.com where you buy it from there. But yeah, the blog is a good place to go and sign up, get on my mailing list, and you'll really, be informed about where to go and, what's interesting out there.
Well, Suzanne Taylor, it's been absolutely our pleasure here in Atlantic Canada to have you on the program, and we want to thank you for being here, and hopefully we can have you on again to speak again.
Oh, it's been a pleasure talking to you, really. You're just one of the most, sharp people that I've talked to on the air, and I really appreciate that. So may our communication go out far and wide.
Absolutely reciprocal. Thanks, Suzanne. So that was Suzanne Taylor. Wow. A really progressive mind and soul, taking part, active part in the world of crop circles and expanding consciousness. That's what we try and do here. We try and push that critical mass of expanding consciousness. So we want to thank Suzanne Taylor for being here on the program. It was an absolute pleasure. Please make sure that you go and check out Susan's work at a few different sources here at www.cropcirclemovie.com, www.whatonearththemovie.com, and she's on Facebook at /whatonearth. Check out that stuff. Listen to some of these reviews. Whitley Strieber says, quote unquote, brilliant, groundbreaking, incredibly beautiful and powerful. Kinetics Magazine says, quote, a must-have documentary. And there's a whole lot more raves. I really enjoyed it, so you all check that stuff out. Also check out some amazing stuff, some communique going on at theconversation.org. Also, mightycompanions.org /crop circles. So thanks, Suzanne, for being on the program. You're always welcome back. So, what do we got going on? A quick commercial break. We're going to come back and get down and dirty with the Calendar of the Paranormal, Segment 2, with the lovely Sylvia Richards, right here from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Experience the Caribbean and India without the airfare. Rani's Curry and Roti Shop serves up authentic Caribbean and Indian food. Rani's has all your favorites. Curried chicken, beef, mutton, goat, buttered chicken, chickpea and potato are all available in a roti wrap. Rani's is the real deal. It's real with imported ingredients and a deal with $5 lunch specials and a 10% student discount. So come on down to Rani's at 5280 Green Street, just off Queen, and experience authentic curry and roti for yourself.
I'm David Suzuki. You're either on the bus or off the bus. If you're on the bus, 40 vehicles are off the road. One busload of commuters keeps 70,000 liters of gasoline from being burned. That keeps 9 tons of pollution out of the air, and it puts $5,000 into the pocket of every person on the bus. Get on the bus and breathe easier. The future is in your hands.
Don't drive the planet to destruction. Get around smarter at davidsuzuki.org.
listeners, this is Rebecca Higgs. Tune in as I host the So Obama Show Tuesdays from 2:30 to 4 p.m. for local, national, and international new music, as well as interviews with my favorite artists.
Hi, this is Don Ledger. You're listening to the Unified Field on CKDU on 88.1 FM.
Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. That's Caribou with the appropriately titled Yeti right here on the Unified Field. This is Atlantic Canada's only paranormal radio broadcast, and we're glad that you're with us. It's been a really cool episode. We've had the cool Suzanne Taylor on the show. Coming up here is the next installment of the Calendar of the Paranormal with the amazing Sylvia Richards. Before we get into that, I want to say that I want to put a call out there for some submissions. Email me at unifiedfieldradio@gmail.com and let me know if you have any experiences to let me know about. And P.S., my ad finally made it into the coast, which is fantastic. Finally. The truth is I actually know someone on the inside. Yeah. But, hey, you know, it helps. So the ad went in there calling for all abductees and experiencers to give me a shout at the Unified Field at unifiedfieldradio@gmail.com. So even if you have a question or comment or something you'd like to ask or tell me, then email me there. Let me know how you feel or what you're thinking. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. This is the Calendar of the Paranormal with Sylvia Richards. Welcome to the second segment of the Calendar of the Paranormal, and I am just as excited as you guys to be here with the lovely Sylvia Richards. Now, Sylvia, last time when we did the very first segment, I didn't go into too much detail about who you are and what you do and what you offer to our area living here in Dartmouth. Maybe you can give our listeners a little bit of a background on yourself.
Sure thing, Justin. I do quite a few things here. I read cards. I am a spiritual counselor. I am an ordained minister in the Universal Life Church. I give lectures and I teach classes on spiritual development. And I do healing. I'm a level 3 therapeutic touch practitioner and a Reiki master.
Wow, that's quite a resume.
It's been fun.
Geez, I apologize for downplaying you.
Oh, no problem.
Well, I'm really excited for this segment because you sent me an email to tell me what we were going to talk about, and it is right up my alley because it is my favorite area of the paranormal. But before we get into that, I want to make mention to you, Sylvia, for all of you who didn't hear last episode, the amazing last episode with Don Ledger, who coincidentally this weekend was in Shag Harbor for the Shag Harbor Festival for the crash there that happened in the 60s. Last time on Calendar of the Paranormal, we spoke about lake monsters.
Yes, we did.
Now, there was actually some new information that came to light since then about lake monsters happenstance.
Oh.
Believe it or not, there was a story that came out of just 30 yards off the Devon coast, off the British coast, where there was a sea monster sighting and photographs taken.
Oh.
So that's pretty neat after we broadcasted that this story popped up. Apparently this lady, Gil Pierce, took some photos of what she described as, let me see here, a greenish-brown entity with a hump, a long neck about 2 feet long, and a small reptilian-type head. And the police officials were even referring to it as a Nessie type of creature. And also Gil Pierce, she reported that to the Marine Conservation Society there in Britain. So I thought that was interesting to mention, just since we had talked about that last time on COTP, Calendar of the Paranormal.
Yes, and indeed the description really does match how Ogopogo, which is the one we talked about, how that was described. So, yes, that is very interesting.
Yeah, interesting synchronicities. That's why I thought I'd bring that up. Well, here we are on the second segment of Calendar of the Paranormal. I'm super excited. What do you have for us today, Sylvia?
Well, Justin, today's story has multiple UFO sightings, jets scrambling to intercept them, and a hair-raising tail chase that left the pilot shaken and both British and American investigators looking for answers. This is a mystery that to this day has never been explained.
I love it.
This is the Lake and Heath Bentwaters UFO incident.
All right.
Okay, the night of August 13th to 14th, 1956 was clear and calm at Bentwaters Air Force Base in southeast England. At 9:30 p.m., a radar operator picked up an unidentified radar echo, or URE, about 25 miles southeast, traveling at over 4,000 miles per hour and headed straight for the base. It passed overhead at an almost exact course for RAF Lakenheath, 38 miles inland. Now, in 1956, we're at the height of the Cold War, Suez Crisis pending, World War III imminent. Lakenheath was used at this time as a U.S. nuclear bomber base. About 5 minutes later, a group of UREs appeared 8 miles southwest of Bentwaters, moving northeast at 100 miles an hour. The first 3 objects were in a triangular formation, with another 12 objects scattered behind. 40 miles northeast of the base, the cluster merged into a single large echo, remained still, that's hovering, for 10 minutes, moved 5 miles, stopped again for a few minutes, and finally moved out of range at 400 to 700 miles per hour. A T-33 Shooting Star jet returning from a chaining mission was diverted to investigate. The crew searched the area but saw nothing to explain the radar blips. Then they headed east and southeast into the east and southeast sectors, where an amber light had been seen from the control tower. Finding nothing, they went home. 2 more UREs were picked up, one at 10 o'clock and one at 10:55. Both were 30 miles east of Bentwaters, inbound at over 4,000 miles per hour. Again, the UFOs were headed straight for Bentwaters, and again they flew overhead and went out of range 30 miles to the west. At the same time, tower controllers saw a bright light pass over the field at great speed east to west and at around 4,000 feet, and the pilot of a C-47 transport flying over Bentwaters at 4,000 feet saw a bright light streak under his aircraft east to west. Radar operators at Lakenheath found a stationary echo 25 miles southeast, which then began moving northeast, instantaneously accelerating to 500 miles an hour. No speed build-up. It made abrupt stops, starts, and course changes without slowing down. There were several visual sightings at Lakenheath at this time, confirming the abrupt stops and instant accelerations. Observers saw objects traveling at high speeds. They stopped, hovered, started again, and made sudden sharp course changes. No astronomical, aeronautical, or meteorological phenomena can explain this. Air Force Command was notified. At about midnight, a senior officer saw a URE make an angular course change at 600 miles per hour without slowing. Behavior impossible for any known aircraft then or indeed today.